Hello and welcome to the Good Imaginations podcast. Tonight, we will journey under the sea, where you can unwind, reorient yourself, and if you would like, fall fast asleep. Before we begin our adventure, make sure you're settled. If you are seated, get comfortable. Listen to your spine and relax your shoulders. If you are lying down, get your covers and pillow where you want them. Create your nest. Very good. Now, take 3 deep breaths with me in preparation for the journey ahead. Let go of your day and travel to a vacation for your mind. Imagine with me. See, smell, and be present. Breathe with me now. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Slow and even. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Now, shut your eyes and let's drift off to the site of tonight's adventure. You shut your eyes and feel the warm, sun-drenched water move back and forth across your eyelids. You hover this way for a moment, floating and feeling nothing but the peace of suspension and the softness of the water and the gentle glow of afternoon sun shifting down through the waves. You open your eyes, and you are underwater. Only natural, as you live here. You are a mer person, part human, part fish, and the scales of your tail are iridescent and green and purple and black. Smiling to yourself, you swim slowly towards the beams of the sun. How strange it must be to be a land animal, you think, to walk on the ground and not be able to move up and down in your sky at will. You can go anywhere, up to the top of the waves with the dolphins to watch them leap, bright water sparking off their tails, down to the murky ravines where you must take a lantern to see, down where strange fish swim with spiked teeth. You enjoy being able to move in and around and through your watery home. It feels very natural to you. If you want to move closer to the sun, to hold sunlight in your hands and splash your hair at the surface like a dolphin jumping, you can. For now, you choose to swirl and spin your way over to the public gardens, which are about a half-hour journey from your village. Your village is a beautiful thing. It was built near the surface of the water, so it gets plenty of sun. You imagine it in your mind's eye now, the low square buildings with rectangular windows, each building bone white and glimmering in the sun. The plaster surfaces are covered in iridescent white shells, and tended coral grows as gardens along the ground. There are statues, ornate iron gates, sculptures, and, best of all, a castle in the center, with spires that nearly poke out of the surface of the water. Today, rather than tending the coral near your underwater home, you have traveled to the gardens, a kind of park. It is nice to be removed from everything, to travel to someplace quiet, where you can feel more of the mystery of the sea. The further down into the ocean you travel, the more mysterious it becomes, harder to see through. It is easy to feel safe and civilized near the village, where the sun shines and the waves are calm. That is a coral reef, high, near to the surface and the growing power of light. If you swim out, however, the ocean floor drops, like descending a mountain, and it is in the valleys of these mountains that interesting things happen. You reach the garden, and the light is lower here. You sense the immensity of the ocean, the reckless embrace of endless sea. So much water is above your head here. The light is more like twilight, sprinkled with golden dust. Fish flick in the distance, their scales shimmering. You enjoy that you can't always see straight out ahead of you. You've discovered so many treasures that way. You swim along, seeing nothing but murky blue ahead, and suddenly, through the smog of the water, you see a sunken ship. Whispering in the water with its old sails decaying, holes in the hull, fish darting in the black spaces. You shiver. This is why it's worth it to leave the village and wander with no clear aim in mind. You always find something. Discovery is good for the spirit. You swim out to the gardens. The water undulates over your body. How pleasant it is to swim, to roll your spine and your tail. Each time you move, the water pours over your skin, smooth like glass, almost a massage of water. You shut your eyes as you swim, and you just focus on it, the coolness of the water, the purity of the ocean all around you. You hear the burbles and clicks of distant fish, but mostly you hear the silence. You can sense the water move, and you know the waves are crashing above your head, but here it is so still and cool and heavy. The weight rolls against your skin. You find yourself breathing through your gills more easily, deep and slow. Reveling in this small moment, the water rolls over your back, your arms, your tail. It supports you, lifts you, surrounds you, safe and kind. You open your eyes, and you have reached the gardens. Coral reefs grow in beautiful drifts. The hills and valleys of the coral are incredible. You can vanish around a corner and find yourself in a cave of white stalks. You swim deep into the coral now, breathtaken by the strangeness and power of the sea. The murkiness is soothing, like no one can find you as you coil your way around the forest of coral. You swim above a hill, and you look down to see pink fans, seaweed in vibrant blues, tiny pillars of purple. You see huge yellow sponges like cheerful brains. An eel peeps at you, then darts back into a rock. All around, you can hear the snap, crackle, and pop of the reef. You have never been entirely sure what that noise is. You think it might be the garden breathing. You float for a moment. Do nothing but float. You let the weight of your body rest in the weight of the water. You stare down into the endless caves and hills of coral, and you watch the fish, the bright blue bodies, the strange boxy fish with pink and purple and bright green scales. So much color, so much life. Each fish is a different size, a different speed. They're like a symphony you can see, the variation creating a beautiful picture. You feel transformed by this unbelievable beauty, this strangeness. Discovering beauty, sticking your head down into a world you've never known before. It inspires you. It inspires you to explore. You're going to come back tomorrow.